Hello everyone, and finally, welcome back to the Red Sea podcast. This is Dennis, and those of you that are following me, those of you that are new, welcome. Those of you that follow me on Twitter, especially, will know that I was gone for a week because I couldn't record even 5 singular minutes of an episode without getting into a coughing fit for the first 3 4 days, which then evolved into a whole eye infection, which is something. But I'm back now. And this episode isn't really planned regarding anything specific. It's more or less, as the title says, it's more or less a catch up episode to everything that's happened Olympiacos BC wise and Ethniki wise. So it's just a con chat. I'm not planning anything. I'm also not planning to go for too long, unless of course the talks spiral because there is 4 whole games to run through. Uh, because I do have plans for the entire week, probably tomorrow. There was gonna be a series debuting tomorrow, but that's probably gonna be moved over to next week. There will be a show on Thursday, like normal. Uh, there will be a pre-game show with a special guest for the Ike game on the weekend. The post-game show will probably be on the same day, but the amazing news are that I will go to the stadium. So we'll see about the post-game show. It may be moved on a Monday. Uh, and yeah, vlogs coming up as well. The vlog that will come up first will be from the Great Britain Greece basketball game, and then I will keep you all updated on if and when there will be an eye vlog. Uh, exactly, exactly. uh, so yeah, if you do wanna follow me more detailed wise, do go follow me, especially on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter gets constant updates. I did run a poll on if you all want some more variety news like the Spanulis Euroleague appointment, news that still affect Olympiacos to a degree, but aren't necessarily about the team. And you all responded extremely positively, which I honestly couldn't be happier about. Uh, so yeah, there will be even more news regarding mostly the football and basketball world. But as I said, a new series is on the way, probably next week. That is regarding the Erasitechni and everything that's been going on. Of course, like and subscribe here. Liking and definitely subscribing helps more than you can ever imagine. If you like what you say, that is. Uh, of course, nowhere near professional, nor will I ever pretend to be one. Just fun talking to a camera to fans and representing fans. Uh, Episodes go up on Spotify, of course. And one of the most important links that's down in the description is the Patreon link. Do go check it out if you wish to help me improve the quality of this show. Uh, so yeah, I think that's about it from shameless promotions. As I promised you all, plans just will keep building and building. Red Sea Chronicles episode 2 is also in planning, let's say, with another very, very unique guest. And yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I did try to make the Patreon as affordable as humanly possible, while it means that it will take a while for me to get the things I want for this show. It's more of a help me help you situation. I don't want to force it down anyone's throat. People use the Patreon for things that they don't promise, and I do want to just take what you will give me and give you back in better quality, in more things, in new series, in more streaming on more platforms that StreamYard allows if you get the subscription. And it's stuff like that. Get a mic eventually. And it's stuff like that I'm aiming towards. So if you like what you see and want to help improve this little wild ride that we're all on, do go check it out. Uh, and of course, Friday show is going to be very special. Don't miss it. Now, let's start with Ethniki, shall we? Of course, during the span of the national break that passed, the Nations League didn't, and we did finish second in our group, level on points with England, which in itself is a great achievement. But we do find ourselves looking forward to playoffs once again and looking forward to some very tough, tough opponents in the playoffs, which are Scotland, Hungary, Belgium, and Serbia. I did once again run a poll on Twitter if you do want to contribute more to the show and have your opinions heard and stated. Uh, do go check out the Twitter, especially the Twitter. I got very differing opinions. I'm not as positive as you all are about the playoffs. I don't think any of those teams are easy pickings. Of course, none of those teams are easy pickings. People are saying Scotland, as this comment says. I don't see how we beat Scotland right now. I really don't see how. People underestimate Scotland massively, and I've done it as well. From Robertson's leadership to the midfield to everything that Scotland have, we're still a level below them, in my opinion. Also, talent-wise, we are many levels below. Of course, the generation breaking through for me isn't just completely taking over yet because that generation for me is levels above, but as a unit right now, we are levels below Scotland. I am sort of leaning towards this position that Serbia would be one of the ideal scenarios, but for me, the most ideal scenario is a scenario that no one else really said, and that's Hungary. I would like for us to be drawn with Hungary. Uh, Everything has been mentioned, and everything is correct in its own way. It's four completely different nations we're talking about, and each and every one of us sees the ethnic very differently, honestly. I'm speaking Hungary, while I know they play very tough football, and of course, Dominic Szoboszlai is no one to be underestimated, one of the most underrated captains in Europe for his nation at least. I do believe that we can beat them at their own game. Of course, speaking ideally, speaking of good form, speaking of everything like that. Because if we play like we played against England in the second game, we're beating none of those nations and we are getting spanked by some. But yeah, that's more or less my opinion. It will certainly be A very interesting draw. And as we saw, as I will slowly go into, I mentioned the game against England, following off a historic victory that you can go check the vlog of on my channel in honor of the late great George Baldock. Everyone was ecstatic. Uh, Oaka filled, and I am gonna build into a rant immediately. Why Oaka? And it's not a stadium. My opinion is that the games should be played in the country's Olympic stadium. That for us is of course Oaka. But when 60, 70,000 people, I don't even remember how many fans Oaka can hold, just go there and not be heard in the slightest for more than a continuation of 5 minutes for fans to go there and throw paper airplanes in a game where, looking at the opposite leg, the fans that did attend Wembley out chanted, outperformed, I'd say, the England fans. And we came here and we were dead silent for most of the game. Oaxaca has so much potential. I will go back to us. I will go back to Olympiacos. Go back and see Olympiacos play at Oaxaca. Go back and see what true Oaxaca passion means. And that's what we need to give to the Ethniki, in my opinion. In games where the whole nation of some of the best fans in Europe, I'm not, that's my point. No ultras go to watch the Ethniki. I know that, but it's still a unity of some of the best fans in Europe, and I'm adding all of us because even not speaking of ultras, the Greek fans are insanely passionate. So uniting, especially the top four, I don't get how it's not one of the most feared atmosphere. At least not anymore. At least not for the Ethniki. Now this is a double-edged knife. It's more family friendly. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. A stadium can be family friendly and be feared, in my opinion. There isn't a physical need to fear in a stadium when your voice can kill the opponent. Again, Karaiskakis, we've seen that many times. Many kids go to the Karaiskakis. I can speak personally, both in the West Ham game, both in the semi-final last year, the Fener game, the Ferencvaros game. People of all ages are there. Families are there. And yet you saw how amazing the atmosphere was. I truly don't get how Greek fans, while united as a statement under the Ethniki, don't make some of the most insane atmospheres we've ever seen. We should make it hell. We can make it hell. I just believe that no one bothers for some reason. And I'm not saying that specifically because it was England. Okay, we lost to England. Okay, I don't believe that we should have been absolutely played out the park and spanked 3-0. But that's a different story that I'll get into. In any match, we shouldn't be dead silent, especially when Tiesniki is finally so close, So close, closer than the past 10 years to a tournament. United under finally a coach that looks like he can bring us forward. United under a generation coming up that may even hit the 2004 quality. We don't know. I know it needs time. That's why I'm saying, yeah, okay, the England game happened, but we need to up our level as fans as well. Everyone needs to be at their highest when the Ethniki plays, both fans, both coaches, and players, at least for me. Uh, but yeah, we got absolutely spanked out the park, which isn't the same against England, honestly. Of course, the performances could have been better, but what we did, and what we are building towards is nothing to be ashamed of. This Nations League campaign, which isn't even over, is nothing to be ashamed of. Uh, yeah, that's a good point. Like, all the overseas fans don't usually allow Super League rivalries. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. But for me, the united rivals should even be making more noise. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe that sounds delusional or too ideal for Greek fans, but at least that's how my brain just conceives the whole thing. Uh, Special shout out from this game, I think, would go to Mavropanos, had, who was honestly one of the very few silent lights of this game. Uh, and as you know, when I give negatives, I try and give a positive. I'm glad that we've outgrown, at least in the Ethniki, from attacking players. I'm glad that I at least haven't seen anyone go after Safiris, who is the only person that is not at all to blame for me. He's not at all to blame. There is blame to be put here and there, but as I said, after this campaign, you can't really sit down and blame anyone. You can't. You just can't. Uh, as you know, once again, I don't shy away from stating an opinion. Uh, and I'll state it again. I think I've stated it in the previous national break. I respect what Bakasetas is doing. I respect what Bakasetas did at Wembley as well. If we need to take the captaincy off this man. We need to take the captaincy off this man. And he needs to be picked up and dragged out of the starting 11. I think it's time, personally at least. Just like another person that needs to be picked up and dragged out the starting 11, at least until he finds a team where he constantly plays, is Vlachodimos. Vlachodimos hasn't touched club football at a serious level in 2 years. I get what he's done for the FNG, but as I kept saying, with this new generation just knocking on the door, just breaking through slowly, maybe Odi needs to be picked out until he finds a team, and let Cholakis and Mandas fight for that position. Of course, I give it to Cholakis, but we are a country that has immense quality in even our third keeper. So give it to Jalakis and give him a last chances as well. It doesn't have to be OD anymore. We have more than quality in our backups, more than enough quality in our backups. Same for Bakasetas. Like there is an incredible midfield generation uh, breaking through. If he didn't have the captaincy, is my camera okay? Hope my camera is okay. I just saw a flash of black immediately. But yes, if Bakasetas didn't have the captaincy, he wouldn't be playing, or he'd be coming off the bench. I think Bakasetas needs to start coming off the bench. I'm not saying just knock him off the team, because he is a historic player for the Ethniki. Don't like him in the slightest, but as I said, I respect him. He's done a lot for the Ethniki. But I think it's time to flip the switch, give the captaincy to someone else, and get to who, uh, and play other people. And I think moving on to the Finland game in a second, before after I get through one more performance, uh, I think it's Musa's time to get fully integrated as well. And I applaud Jovanovic for giving him the chance. I really do. As much as Greek fans may moan for this and that, Musa has worked for it and he deserved it. And everyone will break through slowly. I believe so. Like even Costadelias, even the insane rumor that he stopped football isn't true, even he will break through. Chimas will come. I believe that Chimas will even come in the next transfer window. In the next transfer window. Good. In the next national break. Uh, Kostulas also probably will break through in the next national break. We will start to see some of those switches. And I'd be pissed if it was Jolaitis as well, playing amazingly both in League and Europe, and just a player that hasn't played just so long has being picked over me constantly. I had this discussion on Twitter. I know how hard it is for a country to just switch their keeper, but we need to realize how blessed we are. The goalkeeper position in all three, even fourth and fifth choice are very good keeper, and we need to use a window of games that perhaps aren't that important, or maybe even until March, uh, things have switched and Zolakis does get the starting position. But we need to do it at least until Vlachodimos finds a team. At least until then. Now, this is a very interesting one. For me, the captaincy goes to Konstantinos Kouliarakis. For me, the next captain of the Ethniki is Kouliarakis. I believe he's more than earned it. His rise is incredible. He's showing leadership as much as he can, at least every match. And sure, you can make shouts for a lot of others as well. But I do believe that the next captain, I know he's young, I know he's very young, but I think he's already just a perfect fit for the next captain. He is a natural born leader, I know, and I disagree. I disagree. I believe Kouliarakis has incredible impact on the team, both on and off the court. I believe Kouliarakis shows leadership that we don't necessarily pay attention to and see. And I believe Kouliarakis plays a big part in the mentality of the team. Uh, and If I had to make a second choice, honestly, Pavlidis. There is a shout there somewhere for Mavropanos, but he was never a leader. And having to go with a certified starter right now, if we need a transitional captain, because if it was up to me, I'd take the captaincy of Bakasetas now. If we need a transitional captain until Kouliarakis, I'd give it to Pavlidis for like a year or two, then give it over to Kouliarakis. Uh, I also saw someone saying Tsimikas. I love Jimmy as a player. I really love Jimmy as a player. For me, he was never a leader. Incredible quality, incredible player, never a leader for me. And that's okay. Not everyone has to be a leader. Not everyone will be a leader. But those are my two shouts. I'd honestly go up and give it to Kuljaraitis right now, but I can hear the youth aspect of it all. Uh, so my uh, transitional captain would be Pavlidis. No, God no. Jovanovic probably does want focus in the team, uh, but you can't deny right now, aside the huge injury problem that is troubling for Ioannidis right now, uh, you can't really go out and deny the dip he's had in form. Whether those two uh, are a cause, whether the injury is a cause of the dip in form, sure, maybe yeah. But when you have a player like Pavlidis doing what he does, for me, do and you can't under any circumstances just grab him and take him out of the starting 11. At least I don't really necessarily see a way where that happens right now. I don't think Fotis would have started. I honestly don't think Fotis would have started against England. I don't think as much love as Jovanovic may have for Fotis, I don't think anyone can deny what Pavlidis is doing. And I don't think anyone can deny that Pavlidis is in a way better state right now. I I can't see I can't see Fotis starting in the near future at least. Maybe stuff has changed until March, as I said, the same with Cholakis. Uh, but right now, as things stand, I don't see Fotis starting anywhere. Uh, Moving on, a performance I also want to applaud and the absolute resurgence, well, not resurgence, the absolute upgrade, self upgrade in quality that we have seen ever since the last national break, I'd say, is Lazarus Rota. Kouliarakis and Rota at the back have had an amazing streak of matches for me. Uh, and they both deserve to be given their flowers, honestly. Rota, of course, his name being circled by a billion rumors lately. I'm pretty sure the main three are West Ham, Villa, and Sporting Lisbon. Honestly, he deserves the move, especially away to the Prem. He is a player that can succeed outside of Greece. I believe so. He is a unique player. He's a very unique player. He's more of an attacking uh, fullback, and I do believe he can succeed in somewhere like West Ham. Not that much under Unai. I don't think he'll succeed that much under Unai. I don't think he'll end up in Villa. But either in Liga Portugal or uh, in West Ham, I do believe it would be an ideal move for him at an ideal moment, honestly. I personally stand by the mindset of always wishing great career moves for any great player, no matter where he plays. That's why I was extremely happy for Kulyarakis when he went to Wolfsburg. I do not, for the life of me, want to see Kulyarakis in a Madrid shirt because I do believe, as amazing as a move to Madrid may sound to a footballer, I do believe that that would ruin his incredible trajectory right now. And in general, as I said, I think I'll close how I opened. Taking everything from us finishing second and level on points with England to performances from Rota, Kouliarakis, Jolis, uh, to the debut of our boy, of course, Mousakitis, and the for sure debuts coming up in the next break. I don't think there are many negatives you can keep from uh, this campaign. Jovanovic wasn't just going to join and everything would be okay. We're rising. That's the most important thing. We're rising. And I hope we stay like that. Because that would be, it would be a first for many. Same for me as well to see the Ethniki at their top. Because last time we, uh, last time we were in a tournament, I was um, 10, if I'm not that mistaken. So yeah, absolutely everything to look forward to and everything to be nervous about at the exact same time. I think I covered all I could for the SNG, so I will slowly but surely move on to the team that will make every Olympiacos fan proud uh, with no failure, uh, and that's the basketball. Of course, starting off the with the basketball, can't skip the sad news that Sasha is out for, if I'm not completely mistaken, the reported time was 2 weeks with fractured toe, injury suffered at the very eventful PAOK game, which I don't even want to get into. Honestly, you all saw what happened, you all saw what PAOK did. Panathinaikos fans, of course, taking their chance uh, to attack Barzokas, to attack the team. I ran into and quote tweeted an amazing video of a limping Sasha Vezenkov blowing a kiss to the PAOK fans that are cursing everything he has. Of course, the video mentioned that he was running on a treadmill. I hope everyone saw that with an absolute smile on their face. Uh, Honestly, anything you can say just won't be as perfect as a response as speed recovery. Uh, we need him back. Let's not lie to ourselves. We need this team needs Sasha, and I know Sasha will be back in a record time. By saying this team needs Sasha, though, we mustn't forget that we did have the best power forward in Euroleague last year, which is now Sasha's backup. We mustn't forget what type of monster player Alex Peters can be when he needs to. So I think he'll cover Sasha's uh, gap as perfectly as humanly possible as it is to cover a gap by a player the likes of Sasha Vezenkov. Of course, I've said it and I'll say it openly. I think the Baskonia game will be tricky. I think guarding Chima Monaike will be very tricky. I'm not gonna underestimate Baskonia at all. But on the other hand, it's a good time for stuff like that to happen because there isn't a world where I want to sit there and imagine a scenario of us not having Sasa against Real, Barcelona, Panathinaikos in that run of games. So it's good that it happened now. Starting off with Villarban, of course, very nervy win, 94 to 92, making it very hard for ourselves. Villarban, of course, starting the game extremely hot as well. What a player Theo Maledon is, dropping 31, 7 and 5 on our heads. At some point, I don't know what Villarban finished off with, but at some point Villarban had 100% on the three. Uh, but they were running with 83 for a while. They finished with 52. 52% from the three is still nuts. They had 52 from the 2 points as well. Uh, Crazy game. I don't think there is anything less you can say for it. A lot of our flaws did come on show. Olympiacos again proving that everything it stands for is on the defense, starts from the defense. If Olympiacos plays good defense, Olympiacos wins games comfortably. If Olympiacos plays good defense, Olympiacos dominates. That's the mentality we we have always seen. What is happening? Baldwin is not playing for Basconia against us. He's playing for Georgia. Oh, oh, that's interesting. I, I, I didn't see that anywhere. Incredible. That's an incredible miss for Basconia that plays in our favor so much. uh, Still, Danger Man is Chimamoneke for me. Uh, but yeah, of course, as I said, the entirety of uh, Barzokas's mentality starts from the defense. Uh, Wait, yeah, that's what I would stack for. Are you confusing players? Uh, do you not mean Kamar Baldwin? I don't. My brain just. Uh, but yeah, again, my point stands. Even though for some reason, just every time I hear Baldwin, my brain just malfunctions and just targets Wade. Uh, but yes, uh, as I was saying, Barzokas' mentality starts from the defense and moves on to the offense. And we didn't do that starting off against Villarban. We left too many shots open. Of course, luck plays a part. Uh, but yeah, what can you do? A win's a win. That's what I said. People need to stop attacking the team every time a bad quarter happens. Every time. Just a writing of games, a writing of players, a writing of the coach. Stop. Stop. I feel like I'm making this point every game. We need to be behind this team because in one way or another, this team will pay us back, especially this year. Uh, of course, usual suspects, Sasha Vezenkov and Evan Fournier, 21, 4 and 4 in 30, and 22 and 1 in 28. I still don't know how we survived the year without Sasha, and I still don't know why we took so long to bring such a missing piece to the puzzle that uh, that is Olympiacos, and that missing piece, of course, being Evan Fournier. These two are tearing up the Euroleague, and I feel like we'll end up just wondering which one is the MVP. Of course, for me, that will always be Sasha Vezenkov. And yeah, we have a very scary duo in our hands. And partnering that sharing duo is a player that's getting better and better, and a player that, in my opinion, when healthy, is the best and most dominant center the EuroLeague has right now, and that is the Serbian mountain, of course, Nikola Milutinov. Milutinov again dominating the paint, keeping us in it with his rebounds mainly, 13, 7 and 2. The only person matching him in rebounds is the record breaking man of that night, of course, that is Theo Maledon. Uh, he genuinely is uncomparable with anyone when healthy. I feel like Milo just sat down, worked that tiny bit more on his physique, and now he's demolishing any paint. For me, he's the most dominant big man the EuroLeague has. Which is okay. Of course, a huge shout out as well to Luca Vildosa, not only for the game against Villarban, but Luca is improving at such a fast rate, and that pains the Panathinaikos fans so much. Luca works with support, and he hasn't just earned that support from us and from the team and from coach. He has the right to demand that support. Luca is working for more and more and more minutes. Luca for me now is an irreplaceable part of the starting lineup of every game. And of course, we mostly saw that with Maccabi, where he played 31 and played incredibly with 10, 5, and 4. Luca, especially at the back, is amazing. And there is a reason I did call him the most underrated transfer of the season. And I can't even begin to imagine what's gonna happen and how good our guards will be to watch when Keenan comes back as well. Uh, of course, in Maccabi as well, more or less the same story as Villarban. Uh, the first quarter actually was the same exact score but opposite, which is interesting. Uh, Sasa and Evan again 21 4 and 2 and 24 and 2 in 28 minutes, both of them. Milu again with 11, 8 rebounds and one assist. I can honestly talk about those three for an unstoppable amount of time. For me, right now, form-wise, that's the base of our team. Sasha, Chavan, and it's Milutinov. And then you go and add a very on-form Mendoza to that. You go and add a Shaquille Magic that's popping up out of nowhere every single time. Uh, when needed, he's there, and he's there at 1,000%. He's not there at 100%. He's there at 1,000%. You have Thomas Walkup that can dominate a game without even scoring a single point sometimes, and then you just add and add and add and add. We saw on the weekend that if we can keep on this and add an on-form, in-form Papanikolaou to this team, we're unbeatable for me. I know that sounds delusional, but I can't see a team that can beat us. Then now I can't see a team, at least in the near future, that can stop this streak. That's why I'm not that worried. Of course, I'm gonna be worried if there are complications to Sasa's injury. But if Bezenkov misses Baskonia and misses Partizan, I'm not worried about these games because I not only know that Alec Peters will show up like Alec Peters knows how to show up, but I do know that everyone will take on a role good enough to cover what Sasa gave to the team. Of course, as I said earlier, no one can fully cover what Sasa gives to the team, but I know that this time we do have players that can step up. We have those players, and even Evan Fournier, he can carry a game on his own, and he's shown that. So even if push comes to shove against Baskonia, for example, I know that we are going to give the ball to Evan Fournier, and I know that he will do his magic. We have to play hero ball sometimes. That's how basketball works. Basketball needs hero ball as well. It just doesn't need overused hero ball. It's just a joy to talk about, not even to watch. And I know that this team is absolutely cursed to not have a comfortable game ever. And that takes us as well. But in the end, I will keep saying that this team will forever pay our support of. Yes, exactly. Evan doesn't only step up himself to 1,000%. You can see that the mentality that he brings is, as you said, that he doesn't accept anyone giving him less than 100% of the game. And you can see that from everyone. Every time Vildoza, for example, has a successful defense, has a successful shot, he celebrates like a madman. Evan always celebrates. Papanikolaou, you can see the bench celebrating every time a big shot is made. Uh, Milutinov is a monster. He always enjoys his game. He always celebrates. Woke up, woke up with incredibly passionate celebrations. You can see that once again, this team is a functioning family, and that missing piece of personality that wasn't there last year is here in double now. And again, we're not even full yet. We have Evans coming in, hopefully in January. Hopefully. I don't get how people can hate on this team. I don't get how people can hate on Barzogas. I get how other fans can. Of course, I get how other fans can. Not only Panathinaikos, but the teams like PAOK, who suddenly just became a respectable basketball team. Uh, but from our own fans, I don't get how there is that horrible, horrible, destructive criticism. I don't get it. It takes one mistake in basketball for a certain few people, especially on Twitter. This always happens on Twitter. For a certain few people to just go nuts, just snap. You see things that you don't believe that you are reading. You can't believe how you read it. I don't want to go back to that bad run of form, the things we saw. But even when we win, even when we have the streak that we do, again, a streak that I don't see stopping anytime soon, you just see everyone just bowing for that mistake, just waiting for the team to just fail, to say, I told you so, to say this, to say that, to attack scapegoats of the team like Ghost, for example, who had very good game against Maccabi. Uh, he always does. I've talked about Ghost. I've said why I believe he's the scapegoat and that the hate he gets sometimes is just stupid. Uh, Papanikolaou has been torched. Papanikolaou has been absolutely torched most of the games this year. And I'm telling you, if Papanikolaou carries the form that he had on Sunday, on Thursday, everyone is as always just gonna flip around, just start praising him and saying this, that, this, that. I hate the hypocrisy. I hate it. I despise it. Drives me insane. And that's why I call it out. From other fans, it's expected, but we can't attack our own team, especially the basketball team. And again, before anyone says anything, I'm sure people have already thought it. I am putting myself in the category as well. It's also self-criticism. I've said stuff. I've said stupid stuff. I've said stuff about specific players. And it is dumb on my part. I recognize that. But the sooner we all just drift away from the perspective and start criticizing our team at normal levels when needed and pushing behind it like the army we can be as fans, the sooner we'll get to that perfect, perfect form that we do want to get to. The Euroleague is also insane this year. Uh, so that's a whole different thing added to everything. Another person that won't play against Baskonia that I completely forgot to mention is, of course, uh, Tyler Dorsey, who's out. I don't know if he'll play against Partizan, but I know he won't play against Baskonia. And I do believe that very soon, because Fenerbahce, as deserved as their place is, like, let's not lie, Fener have been playing amazing basketball. I do believe they'll fall soon. And as delusional as that may begin to sound, I can't see us finishing outside the top four this season. If, knock on wood, all goes well and everyone stays healthy. I can't see us finishing outside the top four. But even if, I'll forever believe in this team. Especially this year. There isn't a moment where I'll doubt the team this year because the team keeps proving to us all that it doesn't deserve to be doubted. Uh, Also, once again, I'll probably say this every time I talk about the EuroLeague. Once again, shout out to Paris. Like, what a problem for the league they've become. Shout out to TJ as well. What a point guard. What an insane point guard. Uh, and also, of course, the news worth talking about, in my opinion, to finish off, is the news I've covered extensively throughout yesterday and today, mostly, when the rumor just blew up and became official. Best of luck to Gilbert, honestly. I am so glad he's getting that Euroleague job because I think we all know that he is the only fit successor to Barzokas. And I'm very intrigued to see what he does with Monaco. I'm very intrigued to see what he does with Mike. Mike under Spanoulis will be a beast, I fear. Uh, I think he'll gel that team together. I really do. And I honestly can't wait to see what he does as a EuroLeague coach. Once again, a lot of things to look forward to. Before I start closing off, because I am about to hit an hour, I'll just say again, no matter the department, not only about basketball, one, avoid being dragged into the hate by people who just love to hate, and two, keep your own opinions, criticize, yes, but not be distracted. Support this team. Support this team everywhere. Support this team with your heart, because we all love this team. See you all, if not tomorrow. Uh, I'll see you all after the EuroLeague game against Baskonia. Do go check out all the links in the description. And thank you all for being so understanding with whatever I need to do. Let's get back at it.